Okay, so here are the 2020 B&M re-releases of the Dalek sets from last year. So yeah, I'm just gonna do one video on these where I just basically go over the differences and my opinions, whether the differences are better or worse. So let's take a look at the Daleks first of all. So since I'm holding I think this is the Attack Squad Axis Strike Dalek, let's just go over what is different. First of all, I'd like to say the plastic for the eye, the gun, and the plunger has been fixed. It's no longer extremely rubbery like the previous release. So, well done, character. You actually did fix something. Yeah, and also the joints at the head and the gun, the arm are a lot stiffer, actually. But they are a lot smoother. They do feel, of a better quality than previously. But anyway, taking a look at the Axis Strike Dalek, I believe this is. And also the packaging for all of these figures are exactly the same as their original releases, just with images of the new variations. But anyway, so this time around we've got a silver MIG section here and silver slats. And because of its dirty wash, sort of a coppery wash that they put on top, it's harder to see it. However, although this is not as accurate as the previous release, I actually do prefer the look of this. Just because it just looks a bit more subtle, it's less in your face, and I think it just goes with the design a bit more, even though it's not as accurate as the previous release, unfortunately. But yeah, it is, it's character's mentality of variant for the sake of having a variant. Fuck reasons, let's just have a variant. Kind of like the Big Finish versions, however, those, to be honest, these would have made more sense as Big Finish like variants, because even these aren't that big, but they look massive variants in comparison to Big Finish. In terms of the blue interrogator Dalek, well, this time around it's been given a lighter blue finish to it, and also it doesn't seem to be as weathered as the previous release. That could just because it's a navy blue. To be honest, this reminds me of the strategist sort of blue. It's kind of slightly darker than that. Personally, I think I do prefer the darker sort of navy blue release compared to this one. I do like this one, and it is nice. And also, something we'll get on to with this one right now. Oh, character. So, if we take a look at the silver, and it's the same on this one, you notice something, and it's the same with the hemispheres. Something I may have mentioned in the original review, which a few people tried to correct me on, but yeah, it seems like character, won't admit they're wrong, with, giving it a shiny silver finish. So they've kind of gone halfway in making it a bluey silver, but regardless, we all know what this means. Whoops, wrong one. I know you are blue. I knew it all along. Anyway, now that that's over with, and probably a copyright strike because of it. So yeah, it's still not as blue as it really should be. It is only, very slight, and it is very subtle, and especially with the dirty wash air that they've put on top of this one. However, it is, a step in the right direction, and I do prefer this release compared to the original release, because it is slightly more accurate. Not as accurate as it should be. It should be, a lot more blue than that, but still, though, it's closer. But anyway, let's take a look at the figures, and we'll start with the 8th Doctor, since there's not a lot to say about him. Mainly, we've got a darker, dirtier jacket, and the buttons on the front, for some reason, they seem a little bit more vibrant in contrast. But other than that, not really much difference whatsoever. And also his face looks a bit shiny on this one as well. So Dark Eyes 8, to be honest, the difference is so subtle that, to be honest, it doesn't really matter. You could pick or choose, to be honest, causing some lighting it does look lighter, and other lighting it looks darker, so both figures kind of work for that. The War Doctor, and this one has a really loose, wobbly arm on my one. So remember variants for the sake of variants? Well, here we go again. The coat this time around doesn't seem to have as pronounced of damage. It doesn't have that wash as much over it. It is, more of a matted finish compared to the original release. And the boots themselves look a bit darker, a bit dirtier. But the main difference is the waistcoat, and you can actually see the pockets there, even sculpted. Yeah, apparently I think it was Tom, my friend Tom, who said to me, who's Dalek Apocalypse, said to me that apparently at the Doctor Who experience, the War Doctor costume had a red waistcoat, which is where they've gotten this from. But to be honest, who cares? To be honest, why not just give him his, neckerchief, neck scarf, whatever you want to call it? Why not just give him that? Because, and don't say, cost whatever. If they can afford to give the Fourth Doctor his scarf in the B&M sets with TARDIS or in the 3-packs, they can afford to give him a bloody neck scarf. So come on, just. To be honest, if it was just the same thing but with the neck scarf, I would have said the War Doctor set was probably the one to go for this time around. But anyway, so here we have the 7th Doctor. Now this one's a little bit interesting. We've got Hattig's smiling head. Yeah, something we haven't seen since, and I just remembered the individual release of the cream-jacketed 7th Doctor from Remembrance of the Daleks. So, yeah, it is, again, more of a matted finish. For some reason, it just seems a lot more matte. However, for the first time, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but they've got the fob cheeing a nice, bright, vibrant silver, actually. Now, the jacket is the same type of brown as the TV one. Again, no paint on the neck scarf or the handkerchief, which is a little bit irritating, but again, this is meant to be a TV one. So I guess this is a transitional TV one where he's still wearing it. Again, it's variant for the sake of having a variant, but it is nice for people to get the hatted 7th Doctor again, because we haven't had that in a while. My one looks a little bit dirty, actually. But, let's see, is the hex? Yeah. So, if you can see there, I won't pull it all the way off because it's a bit stiff, but the head is still removable. So, if you have the previous release, or even the single release with, well, not single, the cream-jacketed release with the Silver Nemesis set, or even any other 7th Doctor, then you can swap the heads with that. The trousers appear to be the same, and I think the shoes were brown before as well. But yeah, just a bit of a weird, odd variant. So, the question is for people, should you get these? And I'm talking about people in, in general, should they get these? Because the hardcore collectors, it's pointless saying it to them because, I'm a hardcore collector, we'll buy it anyway. So if you bought the original releases, if you managed to pick up them and you're satisfied with them, then yeah, this is just an easy skip. However, if you missed out on the original release, then by all means pick these up. Or if the improvements are enough for you, for example, the Dalek actually being a bit more of a blue rather than a silver, or you just want a 7th Doctor with a hatted head, then by all means. But out of them you can see in the background, I would say obviously the 3rd Doctor TARDIS from Pelagon, that is definitely the highlight, and that is really the one you should go for. But anyway, that's it for this review, and I'll join you later when we get probably more Doctor Who stuff. I'd say late August, early September time, most likely, when we'll get more B&M sets, and who knows, hopefully some movie Daleks. Come on, Aldebar, please, please, please.